Third year, if you don't know, is your clinical year. It's your clinical rotations. God, this mustache is, I'm not a huge fan of it. Madison told me to keep it for the video. Hey, what's up, man? Anyways, so for third year med school, it's your clinical years. And we've actually already picked our schedule. So the way my school does it is they give us templates to pick from. So your schedule is already set. You don't pick like which rotation you do. You have a set template. What's going on, Boo James? What's up? So yeah, you have a set template, and then after that, like you get to rank your templates, and they do like a lottery selection. So out of 140 people in my class, I was number 72. So that means I had the 72nd pick. And so I like scheduled out, they do it by like 30s. So the first day they pick 30 people, the next day they pick another 30. And then so I was on the third day of scheduling. So I ranked my template choices 1 through 12 because I was 72nd and I was the 12th pick of that day. And then yeah, I picked my template. So let me pull that up and show you guys. So the order of my third year rotations are, I have internal medicine first, and then I have surgery, my surgery rotation next, and then I have a selective, so that can be like whatever specialty I want to do. And then I have pediatrics, and then we have winter break, and then when we come back, I have family medicine, and then another selective, and then psych, and then I have neuro, another selective, and now this selective is, when is it? April 29th to May 10th. So it's not the most ideal timing for a selective, just because that's pretty close to when you start getting your residency applications ready. So like, let's say I do this selective and I really like it, then it kind of puts me in a bad position to come up with an application for that. So that's not ideal, but I don't think I'm gonna be in that kind of position. And then my last rotation is OB. So I think for the order of my selectives, I'm gonna do either ortho first or anesthesiology. So those are my top two choices. And then after that, I'm going to do something else that I'm not really too sure about. Either emergency medicine or dermatology, or I really don't know what my third choice is going to be. But yeah, so like my third year schedule is already like pretty much solidified, except for the selectives. Right now, I'm just studying for step 1, take that June 15th. And yeah, that's pretty much all the updates, what's going on with me. I'm going to scroll through some comments now. So if you guys have questions about anything, be sure to comment them right now. I'm going to start answering some questions. All right. What's up, everyone? Oh, geez. Am I still looking towards ortho? Possibly. Step 1 is going to determine that pretty much. How good is that Ghost Coffee Whey? So, I'm glad you asked. I actually have it right here. This is the new Ghost Coffee Whey. It's going to be dropping very soon. And for all of you guys who are tuning in, I've got a code for you here. Getting some protein out of here. But yeah, I really like this protein. So what's cool about this is they actually have ground coffee in it. It's like flash frozen coffee. So it's not like, there's not a huge amount of caffeine in it, by the way. There's like, I think Dan said there's less than 5 milligrams per serving of caffeine. So they just put it as 0 caffeine. I've been drinking it like all day, or not all day. I've been drinking it all week, and I haven't noticed like any caffeine from it. But it smells like coffee, tastes awesome. It's really good. Let me give you guys this code right here, if I can open it. All right. So the code for today's live stream is this right there. I don't know why my front camera always sucks at this. I'm gonna read it out. The code is Cereal Warm Legend Love. Cereal Warm Legend Love, if you guys can get that. Hope you guys enjoy your points. All right, so yes, I will let you guys know more when we find out the drop date for this, but I highly recommend you getting it if you do like coffee. It's not super strong coffee taste, but it's really good. I like it a lot. Okay, next question. Let's see. What's up, man? What's up, Nick? What's up, Jeremy? What's going on, guys? Am I nervous for my surgical rotation? Kind of, but since I picked it so early, I don't think like there's going to be a ton of expectations for me. And I'll already have my internal medicine rotation done. So you learn a lot. I think like it's about, I don't know, I've heard it's over half of the UWorld questions for step 2. So I heard it's a lot of stuff you learn, and I think that'll better prepare me for surgery. But yeah, I mean, of course I'll be nervous. Let's see. Scrolling through comments here. Sorry, every time I like answer a comment, it like scrolls to the bottom and then I lose my track. I appreciate it. Am I planning on going into ortho? Possibly. How is step 1 going for me? It's going. It's still a decent amount of time, but I feel like I'm getting kind of like behind, so I don't know. I'm not feeling the greatest about it yet. How do I study? Is it more just staring at notes and memorizing? No, so that's probably like, that is a way of studying, but it's probably not the best way. So I like to do something active like test questions or flipping through flashcards, something a little more active, or creating notes or writing notes. How do you know that people didn't get into med school their first year of trying? You don't unless they tell you. Yes, if I do decide to do ortho, then I'm definitely doing 2 away rotations for that. What draws me towards anesthesiology? So anesthesiology is procedural based. I know I want to do something procedural based, and you are in the OR, so you do have like kind of that team atmosphere in the OR, which is mainly why I'm drawn to it. I mean, I think like it's definitely a lot more chill than surgery, so I mean, I don't think I would hate that. But yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know until I actually do the rotation. But I just think like I could see myself doing it. So, yeah, that's what drives me towards ortho. Let's see. I mean, anesthesiology, sorry. How did I know I wanted to go into medicine? I basically like knew I really liked science and I liked math. But I didn't like lab stuff. I didn't like to, I don't know, sit in a lab and do nothing. I like to talk to people. So that's kind of what made me to decide to like choose medicine, and then I just like shadowed and made sure that was something that I wanted to do. Does time go fast in med school? Yes, it goes very, very fast. How many years of college till residency? So college is 4 years if you do it fast enough. Then med school is 4 years, and then residency is 3 to 5. College pre-med, I just like looked at my my PowerPoint notes. That's pretty much what I did. Yes, Ghost is awesome. What helped? Oh, I almost spilled my drink here. What helped me decide to go into med school? I just answered that. Do I know anyone who matched into derm? I actually don't. Would I do like a live study session? Yeah, it's something I'm interested in doing, I guess. I probably would not post it on my main channel. I think I'd post it on my live stream channel. By the way, guys, I don't know if you've seen that YouTube video circulating where it's like not creators, but people behind YouTube or in charge of YouTube basically saying like subscribing to a channel is not enough. Like they don't push all of your content. Even if you're subscribed, like they don't push my content necessarily to you unless you hit the notification button. So if you're wondering like why you don't always see my stuff pop up on your newsfeed, that's because you don't have your notification settings open. So let me show you guys real quick. So if you go to my channel, you have the subscription button. Where's my mouse? You have the subscription button right there, and then you have this little bell. So if you click that, and then you see those little lines on it, then that's how you know you're subscribed to post notifications. So make sure you guys do that. Otherwise, you might not know when I upload a new video. So do this for my channel. This is my original channel, and then do that for my live stream channel as well. All these live streams go up on this live stream channel right here. And yeah, then you guys will know when I post. All right. Sorry for that. I just had to say that because that's been like a big thing going on recently. Scrolling through comments here. Best advice for someone who didn't have the best GPA their first 2 years, but has Let's see. So if you don't have a great GPA but you want to get into med school, do well on your MCAT. The mustachio. Yeah, this is coming off soon. How much do general surgeons get paid? You can Google that. What's my specialty? I don't know yet. What is my step one study plan? And how many hours a day do I study? So right now, my plan is to go over all of the sections that I don't feel the greatest on. So I'm going over cardio, I'm going over renal. I'm gonna go over those like really slowly, really in depth. And then after that, I'm just gonna do a ton of UWorld questions and go over those. I'll probably do the UWorld questions at least twice. And then after that, I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I answered that. UWorld is honestly the shit for the MCAT too. Yeah, when I went through it, it was awesome. How did I find passion for medicine? Honestly, like shadowing. I think shadowing is really boring actually, but working in the ER really helped a lot too. Like, helped me solidify that that's what I want to do for a living. Did I do any question banks simultaneously with my classes? Yeah, so I did UWorld with my classes, but I never finished all the questions. And honestly, you don't learn enough in your classes to like master UWorld. Some of the classes. Like I feel like for cardio and renal, like you don't learn enough in your classes for UWorld. But other like reproduction, I felt like I learned everything in my class that I needed for UWorld. Neurosurgery. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know, it just doesn't seem like something that would interest me. Is med school different for surgeons versus non-surgeons? No, it's all the same. I mean, when you do your third year rotations or third and fourth year rotations, it'll be a little bit different. How much money do I make off my sponsors? I'm not going to tell you guys an exact amount, but depending on how much you promote the brand, how big your following is, you can make a living off of that. I personally, I mean, I guess I could live off of my sponsorship money, but I would be barely making it. So that's not something that I really want to do, so that's why I still take out loans. I don't want to have that like worrying of like I need to make so many sales a month to provide for my living, so that's not something I'm doing at this point. Let's see, scrolling through comments here. I'm glad you like the mustache. Could I do a day in the life of studying for step one? So I really want to, but the thing is like I don't feel like I'm at the point in my studying where I have enough time to like focus on making a video about it. So I really want to like focus on my studying. And if I feel like I'm well ahead of schedule or I feel really confident, then I'll make a video. But more than likely, like that was my initial plan, was to do like a day in the life of step one studying. But that's not like my main priority right now. My main priority is to do well on step one. So if I feel ready, I'll make one. But if not, then I'll definitely do like a reflection video or a post-test video on that topic. Let's see. Scrolling through comments here. Do you ever have any advice for out-of-state applicants? So you got to be like top of the top, because out-of-state applicants, so most of the MD schools and some DO schools are funded by the state, meaning that they have to take like 90% of their applicants, or 90% of the incoming class has to be in-state residents. 10% can be out-of-state. So if you're going to apply to out-of-state schools, you got to be like top of the top, because they're only going to allow 10% of out-of-state students into those schools. Let's see. Do I have a summer in med school? So yeah, you do have a summer in med school. You have a summer your first year. Your second year is kind of like, depends on you on when you take step one. And then, so my summer is only going to be a week long this year because I pushed step one back like almost as far as possible. And then third year, I have a 2-week summer break. And then fourth year, I'll be going into residency after that. I think I'll have like a month or 2 months transition between med school and residency. Let's see. Do I always plan the study break during my day? So it's just kind of like when I feel like it. I'm sure as step one studying gets more intense, I'll start planning them out. Any tips for aspiring surgeons in high school? Do well in high school. That's my biggest tip. I appreciate that lifestyle with sod. I'm not sure if I said that right. What's in my green drink slash juice? So this is just a smoothie. It's ice, spinach, and then Ghost blueberry toaster pastry protein is my favorite to use with smoothies, spinach smoothies. Have I had a lot of people who had to do a post-bac to get into med school? No. Some people did, but not like a ton of people. Let's see. Is it a good, oh gosh, okay. What do I think about derm? It might be something I'm interested in. I'm really not sure. I'm sorry for doing the lives. Actually, I get the most views on live streams at night. So right now it's 9:30 for me. But I'm sorry that it's an inconvenient time for you. If you guys miss my live streams, or if you're tired, or if it's late for you, this will be up on my live stream channel. But I always appreciate you guys coming in and saying what's up. Is it a good idea to listen to music while studying? Depends on what you're studying. Like, if I'm like reading actual text, then I will listen to like lyricless music. But if I'm doing math, like when I did math, I always listen to music with lyrics. If I could go back in a time when I was a pre-med, what courses would I have taken? I think I would have done like histo. I think that's histo. I would have done cell bio for the MCAT. I don't think it would have helped me in med school, but it seems helpful for the MCAT. Other than that, I was pretty happy with the courses I took. Is it possible to go to med school on a gymnastics scholarship? Pretty much no, just because med school takes so much time. Do I play video games such as Fortnite? No, I don't. I definitely shouldn't, because I'll probably get addicted and I won't study. How do I maintain a relationship slash other activities while in med school? Undergrad already feels stressful enough. You just got to set time aside for those people that really matter to you, and for those other activities. And to me, that honestly like helps me, because then that gives me like a time frame. Like I only have this time to this time to study, and then it helps you stay focused and not put things off. What's up, Brandon? I appreciate it. Thanks for coming to the live stream. How many hours a day do I study on average? Anywhere from like 6 to 10. It just kind of depends. In college, did I have a good social life? I had a pretty good social life in college. I probably should have studied a little bit more in my earlier years. What's up from Moscow? Hey, how's it going? Thanks for the compliments on the mustache. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm glad some of you guys like it. You're a nursing student and you are studying physiology. If I could describe the difference between theta and delta waves on EEG brainwaves. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think we went over theta waves. Sorry about that. Maybe YouTube. I'd go on YouTube and see. Let's see. How well did I do in high school and in college? High school, I got a 3.89. College, I got a 3.68. And my degree was in bio. All right, going along here. When I get private loans, does it put your cost of living for the requested amount, and is it easy to get approved? So for private loans, you can only take out as much as your school allows you. Like I didn't know that at first, and I tried to take out like twice as much as I was allowed, and they wouldn't let me. They're like, you can only take out this much, and I was like, oh, okay. So they still put a limit on it when you do private loans through the school. What's one aspect of med school that I don't like? So I think like the biggest aspect, and this may not be the same for every school. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. It's not coming. Right, I'm not sneezing. The biggest aspect I don't like about med school is the first 2 years they try to prepare you for step one, but you learn so much extra stuff that doesn't really matter for step one. And I would rather than like prepare you for step one and make you take it earlier and take out all that unnecessary stuff, like more of the clinical stuff, and then put that clinical stuff after you take your step. I'm not sure though. Canadians applying to the States, I think you're in that 10% of like the same as the outer state applicant pool. Any tips on getting clinical research opportunities in undergrad? I think I made a video about that. It's on my research in med school video. So check that out if you need some tips on that. Have I met a lot of people who had to do, I already answered that, sorry. What field, oh, I don't know if someone entered the code or not, but it's Serial, Warm, Legend, Love. I know this is really bad, but yeah. Serial, Warm, Legend, Love. I appreciate it, Jeremy. What were the difficulty of classes I took in high school? I took a couple AP classes, but I didn't like load my schedule up just because I was doing gymnastics. So, how many hours daily do I spend studying in med school? Answer that, 6 to 10 about. I appreciate it. Thank you. What was the mindset and study prep during pre-med? First 2 years, I didn't really have a strict mindset. And then after that, I got a little more strict, like stopped going out on some nights and all that stuff. So I got more strict as time went on. You're interested in anesthesiology, but you've been seeing a lot of talk about how cRNAs are becoming a better option. So what makes them better? Can you elaborate on that? Because like doctors go through more training. They learn more in residency. I mean, other than the hospitals having to pay them less, I'm not really sure what makes them better. And they still have to be supervised by a doctor. So, I don't know. Nothing against cRNAs. I'm just saying like this person said that they were better. How many hours of sleep do I get? About 6 to 8. Hashtag grow the stash. All right. How often do I go to the gym and for how long? I try to go 6 days a week for about an hour. Sometimes I don't always make that too. Sometimes I'll only go 5 days, 4 days. Is it difficult to balance fitness in med school? Yeah, it can be at times. Do you need to get good grades to get into med school? Yes, you do. Do you know what field of medicine I'm going into yet? No, I'm not 100% sure. During med school, how do you practice test questions? So I don't have any books here with test questions in them. Do I? This book here, BRS, this has test questions in it. There is a Q&A book for step 1 that has test questions in it. And then there's an online software called UWorld, and that has test questions in it. So that's pretty much how I study test questions. Sorry. Christian, ask your questions again. I'm sorry I missed them. What's my favorite junk food to eat after a long day of school? I don't know. I don't really eat a ton of junk food, I guess. I really like that Boom Chicka Pop popcorn. That's really good. It's kind of healthy though. I don't know. What's my favorite junk food? Addison? She's not answering me. Madison's been making brownies really a lot, so I've been eating those. I just eat what she eats. How do I think prestige matters for MD schools? I don't think it personally really matters. Like, a name of a school shouldn't define your application. You should define your application. So, I don't know. That's just my thinking. What do I believe was my strongest aspect of my med school application? That'd have to be my ER experience. Definitely not test scores. How important is the school you do undergrad in? It's not important at all. What's going on, Kevin? Opinion on scribing as shadowing experience. Scribing is good if you can get into that. When should one start preparing for the MCAT in undergrad? You should start preparing for it. You want to take it the summer of your junior year. So start preparing for it at the latest summer of your junior year. Some people take it the winter break of junior year. But yeah, you should start studying before then. About like 3 months to a month. It's different for everyone. What was my backup plan if I didn't get into med school? I would reapply, and then if I didn't get in there, I would do... What are you doing? I would do PA school if I didn't get in. What should you do during your your gap year? You should try to find some healthcare experience if you can, and get a job in that. How can you focus on school and YouTube at the same time? It's very hard. It's not very easy. And I wish, like, honestly, if I was just doing YouTube, I'd probably upload like 3 times a week, and I'd do a lot more stuff, but YouTube's not a given, so that's not the smartest thing to do. Would I recommend taking summer courses to fulfill pre-med prereqs? Yeah, I would. What's my opinion on being a med scribe? I think it's a good job. Any advice for getting letters of rec? You should message, or you should, like, first of all, you should get it like a solid foundation in your science courses with your professors. So go in during office hours, talk to them, get to know them, and just develop a good relationship with them. So that way, by the time your applications come around, it's not super awkward in asking someone that you barely know for a letter of rec. The code, if no one has entered it in yet, ghostlifestyle.com/redeem. It is Cereal Warm Legend Love. Cereal Warm Legend Love. But it's probably already taken. Let's see. What's my advice on studying for concepts that you simply cannot understand? I would go on YouTube and try to look them up and see if there's like any videos explaining that stuff. Yes, docs basically learn all the drugs there are for prescribing. Well, not all, like the most of them. Sometimes we'll like have conversations with pharmacists and see what's the best option, but I think for the most part we know most of them. I took 1.5 gap years, so I didn't take my MCAT until 1.5. I guess technically 2 gap years. I didn't take my MCAT until I graduated, and then I worked, and then I applied the following year. So the application cycle takes a whole year, so that's why I technically had 2 years in my gap. I was an in-state applicant, but I applied in-state and out-of-state. Does med school prestige matter to residency programs? Not necessarily. What's going on, Brian? Things are going good. Just studying a lot. About my ER experience, how did I get that? And you've been trying to get an ER hospital work with no luck. So you got to get certified in something. I got certified as an EMT, and that's how I got my job. Any thoughts on foreign students attending med school in the U.S.? I think it's hard, but it's definitely not impossible. Med schools do look at your undergraduate courses. Yes, they look at all of them. Technically, it is slightly easier to get into DO schools, although they are becoming more competitive. Would I go to a Caribbean med school? So I guess that would be like another backup plan. If I didn't get into any MD or DO school in the States, then I would have gone the Caribbean route. I think like there's a ton of doctors who graduate from them. I think the problem is with them is you do have to jump through a couple extra hoops, I think, in terms of residency. And then since the standards are a little bit lower, there is a higher dropout rate. And you're in the Caribbean, which is an awesome place to be. So I do see that being as like a lot of temptation to not study. So it just takes a disciplined person. But I think their quality of education is still good. How important do I think, oh geez. How important do I think undergrad research is? It's not that important. I didn't have any research. But if you like it and you want to do it, then you should do it. What's my best advice for people who struggle to retain so much information? Just go over it over and again. Like, writing it down, whatever that information is down tends to help me a lot. Doing flashcards helps. It's just repetition. Let's see here. Oh gosh, sorry, I clicked something on the screen here. What is the best med school for general surgeon? Any med school, really. Can someone with dyslexia do well in med school? I actually have a classmate who has dyslexia, and he's like one of the top people, so yes, you can do well. What am I drinking? A spinach smoothie with ghost protein. Step one plan is study the subjects that I really want to study, like hard. That's what I'm doing right now, and then I'm doing like first aid, Pathoma, UWorld, and Boards and Beyond for those subjects, and then I'm gonna do like UWorld questions a lot. Go through them multiple times. Urgent question. Okay, let's see how urgent it is. Do you think it would be better to become a PA instead of going to med school since your future is unpredictable? So I think a PA is a great route if you can get in. I've noticed that I didn't apply, but Madison applied, and it kind of seemed like they want you to apply more than once just to make sure like you really want to do it, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't know if that's just the PA schools here, but I don't really like that about the PA thing.
Acceptance like
28%?
28 years old.
Average acceptance rate for a PA student is 28 years old. So I think they like really try to take people who try to get into med school but don't necessarily get in, or like have some kind of business or job change. So yeah, I think they try to take older people. But I mean, like 2 years versus 4 years plus residency, I mean, you don't make as much as a doctor, but it is definitely a fast track into being a provider, healthcare provider. All right, guys, I'm going to answer a couple more questions. So get your questions in, and then I'm going to have to head out. But let's see. Would I go to a Caribbean med school? Possibly. I mean, if I was in that situation, I probably would. Bio was my undergrad major. Yes, you could volunteer in the ER. That's another option. How long did it take, and how hard was it to become an EMT? I did a accelerated course, so that's 2 weeks long. Typically, it's about a semester long course, and then the test was pretty easy. So yeah, it wasn't super hard to get certified. Let's see. Am I on a specific diet plan? No, not right now. I'm just eating whatever I want. Right now I'm bulking, so when I start cutting down, which I probably won't for a little bit, then I'll be a little more strict. But yeah, I'll count macros, but what? I'll count macros, but it'll be more like pretty clean, not super. I don't know. I don't try to fit in a bunch of crazy stuff. Do I feel DOs are looking down upon? So some older MDs do look down upon DOs, but it's changing a lot. I don't think it's like, if you can't get into an MD school, then definitely go to a DO school. I almost went to a DO school. So DO schools can slightly lower your chance of getting into a competitive residency, but in 2020, I believe they're merging programs. So MDs and DOs are going to apply for all the same programs. So whether or not that hurts or helps their chances, I'm not 100% sure. What was my personal statement about? My personal statement was about med school. It was about gymnastics and my ER experience. Can you go to med school with a bachelor's in psychology? You can go into med school with a bachelor's in anything, as long as you have the prereqs. Let's see. How do you deal with disappointment when putting in a lot of hours? You just got to studying. So you just got to realize what you did wrong and try to improve upon it. Has the gravity of surgery ever scared me in the path to becoming one? Not necessarily. I think like if I want to do like cardio or neurosurgery, then then that would be a little more intense, I think. All right, guys, I'm going to scroll through, answer like 2 or 3 more questions. Med schools do not take off any year at university. They count all your years. How different is my curriculum to Madison's? It's actually pretty different. She learns stuff that I don't learn, and I learn stuff that she doesn't learn. And her curriculum is accelerated. I think it's like a year and a half long. Is that right?
Yeah,
4 semesters long, where mine's 4 years long. So, what made me decide to start a fitness channel? So, I wouldn't really consider my channel a fitness channel anymore. But back when I started YouTube, so I'll just kind of talk to you guys like how this all started. Back when I started YouTube, I was graduated. So I graduated undergrad, and I was working in the ER, and I was getting paid like $11 to $13 an hour, which I felt like, I mean, I was living fine. Like I could afford everything, but I don't know. I felt like I had a lot of extra time to do stuff. And so after I graduated, I had surgery, and I got super skinny, really small, and I wanted to like build myself back to at least where I was when I was doing gymnastics. And so I started working out in the gym, and I saw like other, I didn't really like, we don't do a ton of weightlifting in gymnastics. So I was like looking up like how to do certain exercises, and I saw all these fitness YouTubers, and I was like, I mean, this could be potentially another way of making money, or just like helping people out and posting stuff that I already do and I can make money while doing it. So basically just started posting my workouts, and the whole fitness thing is like super saturated by the time I started too. So it didn't really like take off, didn't really go anywhere. And then and then I was like, well, I'm starting med school anyway, so I don't really have time for this. And then I did my first whole semester of med school without doing any YouTube. And then I also saw like some med school YouTubers on there, because I was like looking up just like what second year is like, third year is like. I was like, I wonder if anyone vlogs this or anything. I didn't even know there was med school YouTubers. And then so yeah, I found a couple med school YouTubers like Jane and JD, Strive to Fit. Is it Strive to Fit? Jamie's channel. And yeah, I was like, oh, if they can do it. And also Garrett from Aesthetics, he was vlogging too. And I was like, geez, if they can do it, then I can do it too. So then I started vlogging about med school. And now I would like kind of consider my channel more of like a lifestyle channel, like a student lifestyle channel. I don't want all my stuff to just pertain to medicine. I want it to pertain to basically everything I do in life. So yeah, that's pretty much how it all started. All right, one more question. I'm going to scroll through here. Let's see. I'm going to be going into my 3rd year. I'm in my 2nd year right now. All right, that was a quick question. One more question. All right, I think this one is a good one to answer. So do med schools have an age qualification needed to enter? Some schools do. So my school, I think you have to be 20 to enter. But typically, okay, let me back up. So there are some schools that are college and med school combined. Those are 6-year programs. And those, I think you just have to be 17 or 18 just going into undergrad. Typical age to go into undergrad. But for traditional med schools, at least in the US, you have to be 20, I think. It could be different for private schools because they can kind of do a little bit different things. But for the most part, you have to be at least 20, and then there's no age limit, usually. I mean, typically, people who are like 50s or 60s, they might think about your age because the amount of time you're practicing medicine is going to be really limited. But yeah, other than that, you can be any age to apply. So yeah, that's going to wrap up my live stream. This will be posted on my live stream channel. I will show you guys real quick again. So yeah, here is my regular channel. So if you go to my channel and then you click this live stream channel right here, EJ, you'll see all my live streams right here. So this will be up either later today or tomorrow. Also, don't forget to hit that notification button to get notified when I upload, because if you don't hit that, you might not get notified and you might not know when I post a video. So, all right, guys, if you, I hope you guys have a good Easter. If you celebrate Easter, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys later.